here from I'dRatherBeDrawing.com for 100 Days of Making Comics update. Let's get started. So here's where I've been in the last 2 weeks of making comics. I've got it inked. All the black and white part is done. I'm not coloring, but I will be adding ink wash to get some different gradient and tone and for a more polished look. However, got to scan them all in to Photoshop to remove the digital or to remove the blue pencil first. So until then, talking a little bit about my writing process. This is a comic I'm making for the band Isabel Crane, illustrating one of their songs. And originally I was just going to write and draw kind of lyric for lyric, but I realized it'd be kind of boring to exactly have what I was drawing and then write exactly the same thing. So I got out my trusty notebook. This is my project notebook. I always have one of these when I'm starting a new project. They're really just for getting messy and not showing much, just kind of getting thoughts out. However, nothing was really coming out. Having a real bad case of page fright with this one. I knew kind of a feel I wanted to go to, but it's been a while since I've written, so I didn't know where to start. So I went to the internet, did a little bit of research, plugged in some of the keywords that were kind of rolling around in my brain, and got familiar with some good folklore and some other things that I was interested in. Soon I found I was kind of going down the Wikipedia rabbit hole and just staring at a computer screen too long, not really getting anything done. So with what I'd kind of written down, I pulled myself away, went for a walk. I do this a lot, go for a drive, go for a walk. Whether you're really focusing on the idea, not the problem, I don't want to say, but on the idea, or just kind of passively listening to some tunes and just sort of exploring your surroundings. I just kind of find it helpful to really get some ideas going. It's just something where I've always gotten a lot of ideas from. So I got a lot of good ideas from it, but I realized it had been a long while since I had written creatively. So I took a cue from Jake Parker's Inktober this last year, just last month, where he did his character every day, but along with the drawing, he also posted a short creative bio on the character. So that's what I did. I did these sketches, didn't put a whole lot of thought into it, just started drawing, whatever came out happened. But then in the post I would get creative on their little bio story, which I found extremely helpful. It really got the juices flowing, was a lot of fun, gave me a couple days of interesting Instagram posts, and built up my confidence a little bit to roll into writing my comic. So went back over my notes with my newfound optimism, really having a good idea of what I wanted to do. However, didn't want to just write it down in a notebook, needed to hold the pages in my hand. So I printed off my comic, really crappy version of it on crappy copy paper, but just that so I could hold it in my hands. Once I had that, it was just a lot easier to visualize where the words were going to go. Since I didn't have this all plotted out beforehand, since it was a little bit more of a recent development, I was having a hard time visualizing where it would physically go on the page. So this really helped with that. I didn't worry too much about that, just scribbling in the margins and making notes and writing the things down. But once from this stage, I kind of cleaned up the writing a little bit on post-it notes and started pasting it on the pages where they're going to go. Being able to shuffle that around, if it wasn't quite the right words, I could scribble it, throw it away, and start fresh. But in doing this, I've gotten my comic written. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm satisfied with it, and I think it's going to be pretty rad. And just as a little bonus, that little project I was working on before for the writing prompts, I think I've got an idea on that. So going to carry that through once this comic is done for a cool little zine in the future. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.